The RMS Titanic was the largest and most luxurious ship in the world when it was built in 1912, designed to be unsinkable. However, on its maiden voyage, it sank in the North Atlantic in a tragedy that shocked the world. Construction of the Titanic was constructed by the Harland and Wolff Company in Belfast, Northern Ireland, under the supervision of the White Star Line, a British shipping company looking to compete with other companies in transatlantic transport. The construction of the Titanic began in March 1909 and took over 2 years. At 269 meters long, and with a capacity for more than 2,200 passengers and crew, the Titanic was the largest ship in the world at the time. The design of the Titanic was innovative for its time, featuring luxurious salons, first-class dining rooms, a grand staircase, and modern amenities like an indoor pool and gym. The ship was also equipped with 16 airtight compartments designed to keep it afloat in case of an emergency, leading many to believe it was impossible to sink. The maiden voyage, the Titanic set sail from Southampton, England on April 10, 1912, making stops in Cherbourg, France, and Queenstown, Ireland, before heading towards New York. On board were some of the richest and most powerful people in the world, as well as emigrants from various parts of Europe seeking a new life in America. During the first days of the voyage, the Titanic sailed smoothly across the Atlantic, with its crew confident in the ship's stability and safety. However, as they approached the icy waters of the North Atlantic, warnings from other ships about icebergs in the area began to arrive. The collision with the iceberg on April 14, 1912, at 11:40 p.m., the Titanic's lookouts spotted an iceberg directly in its path. Although they tried to steer the ship away in time, the Titanic struck the iceberg on its starboard side. This impact caused the hull to break in several compartments, allowing water to start flooding the ship rapidly. Despite being designed to withstand such emergencies, the Titanic could not stay afloat. The water filled 5 compartments, more than the ship could handle, dooming the Titanic to sink. The tragedy of the sinking the Titanic began to tilt slowly forward as passengers and crew panicked. Unfortunately, one of the design's major flaws was the insufficient number of lifeboats. There were only 20 lifeboats, enough for about half the people on board. The evacuation process was chaotic. The first boats were launched without being full, while many third-class passengers were trapped in the lower decks. At 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, less than 3 hours after the collision, the Titanic broke in two and sank in the Atlantic. Of the more than 2,200 passengers and crew, only 706 survived, rescued by the RMS Carpathia. Most of the deceased perished from hypothermia in the icy waters. The legacy of the Titanic. The sinking of the Titanic marked a turning point in maritime safety. As a result of this tragedy, new regulations were implemented, such as the requirement for all ships to carry enough lifeboats for all passengers and crew, as well as improvements in communications and radar systems. The Titanic remains a symbol of luxury, tragedy, and human arrogance against nature. In 1985, explorer Robert Ballard discovered the Titanic's remains on the ocean floor, rekindling worldwide interest in its story.